Hey everyone, welcome back to another deep dive.
It's great to be here.
Today we're going to be digging into something that I think a lot of people are going to be interested in, especially UPSC aspirants.
Absolutely.
And this is all about the fight against spam
Spam.
in the telecom sector in India.
Right.
Now, I know what you might be thinking.
Yeah.
Spam, really?
Right.
Like, why is this so important?
Well, it's more important than you think.
Yeah.
It's a really serious issue that's impacting India's digital landscape.
Yeah, we've all been there, right? Like, you're just waiting for that important phone call or, you're just chilling and then bam,
Yeah.
you get that robotic voice,
Exactly.
trying to sell you something you don't need.
Yeah, and in India, it's a huge problem because we have the second largest telecom market globally.
Oh, wow.
As of August 2023, over 1.179 billion subscribers.
That's a lot of people to be spamming.
It is.
So how is India actually dealing with this?
Well, the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, or TRAI for short.
Right. TRAI.
Yeah, they're really stepping in to control this spam menace.
Okay, so for our listeners who are studying for those exams,
Yeah.
TRAI, that's definitely something you need to know.
For sure.
So could you just give us a quick rundown of what TRAI is all about?
Yeah, so basically, you can think of TRAI as kind of the guardian of fair play in the telecom world.
Okay.
They make sure that there's fair competition between all the providers and that consumers like you and me are protected.
Right.
They were actually established by an act of parliament all the way back in 1997.
Oh, wow.
And a big part of their job is to control this whole spam issue.
So how are they doing that?
Well, one of their most powerful tools is actually blockchain technology.
Wait, hold on. Blockchain.
Blockchain.
Like the stuff behind Bitcoin.
That's the one.
That's wild. I never would have thought of that.
Yeah, it's a perfect fit.
How so?
So imagine like a digital record-keeping system that's super secure
Right.
and basically tamper-proof.
Okay.
That's what blockchain is in a nutshell.
Got it.
So unlike a typical database,
Yeah.
blockchain stores data in these blocks.
Okay.
And these blocks are linked together chronologically.
Yeah.
So it makes it almost impossible to change the records without anyone noticing.
Oh, that's really clever.
Yeah.
So it's like a digital chain of evidence
Yes.
for every message
Exactly.
to make sure that it's actually legit.
Yeah, so TRAI has made it mandatory
Oh, wow.
for telecom companies to use this blockchain technology
Holy.
to keep an updated list of approved SMS senders and the formats that they're allowed to use.
Okay.
So this means no more sneaking in unauthorized messages because any little change that happens on the blockchain, everyone on the network is going to see it.
It's like a digital fingerprint, basically.
Yeah.
For each message to make sure that it's authentic.
You got it.
And from what I was reading in the Hindu, I know that they actually tightened those rules even more in 2024.
Yes, they did.
Now, telecom companies have to actually keep really detailed records of the sender's credentials.
Right.
Like before any message can even be sent.
That's right.
So that adds like another layer of security.
It does.
But blockchain isn't the only tool they're using, right?
No, it's not.
They've got other things up their sleeves.
They've also got things like the Do Not Disturb registry.
Oh, the D&D.
DDND.
Yeah, that's a lifesaver
It is.
for so many people who are trying to avoid all those unwanted calls and messages.
Yeah, and they actually made it even easier to use back in 2024.
They did.
Yeah.
What'd they do?
They made it mandatory for all telecom apps to include D&D reporting features.
Well, that's really smart.
Yeah, so you don't have to like dig through all those complicated menus or call up customer service. You can just do it right in the app.
That's much more convenient.
It is.
Yeah, that's a big win for consumers.
Yeah.
But what about those like annoying calls that seem to come from international numbers?
Ah, yes. Those are tricky.
Yeah, because those seem to slip through the cracks sometimes, don't they?
They do.
Like, how do they even regulate that?
Yeah. So they're a major challenge, those calls, because they often come from disposable VoIP numbers,
Okay.
which are difficult to trace and regulate.
Right.
But TRAI is tackling it.
They are.
They are. They're
Wow.
doing things like real-time monitoring of international traffic
Okay.
and collaborating with VoIP providers across the globe.
So they're not just like sitting back and letting these scammers run wild.
No, not at all.
They're being proactive.
They are.
Okay, good.
In fact, the Department of Telecommunications, or DOT,
Okay.
they've actually developed this really cool portal
Okay.
called Sanchar Sathi.
Sanchar Sathi.
Yeah.
Okay, I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, it's a multifaceted portal, but one of the key features is something called Chakshu,
Chakshu.
which allows citizens like you and me
Okay.
to report fraudulent calls and messages directly to the authorities.
Oh, wow. So we can actually help out
You can.
in the fight against spam.
Absolutely.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what happens when we actually report something like that?
So there's a dedicated Telecom Security Operations Center in New Delhi
Okay.
that is constantly monitoring internet traffic for any kind of suspicious activity.
Okay, so they're like on it?
They are on it. And get this,
What?
they're actually using artificial intelligence
Oh.
to help them detect and label potential spam calls.
So they're bringing out the big guns.
They are.
Wow. That's really interesting. AI in the fight against spam, who knew?
Yeah.
So some telecom companies like Airtel, they've actually started using AI to label those suspicious calls
Right.
as suspected spam.
Yeah.
So that gives users a heads up,
It does.
which is really helpful.
Yeah.
But with all these measures in place, is it actually making a difference?
It is. We're seeing some really positive results.
Like what?
Spam from legitimate businesses has gone down significantly.
Oh, that's great.
And blockchain has really helped with the tracking of messages.
So we are winning,
We are winning.
but the battle's not over.
The battle's not over.
Okay, tell me more.
Because scammers are constantly evolving their tactics.
Right.
They're finding new ways to trick people, especially through international calls and financial scams.
It's like a constant arms race then,
But it is.
between the good guys and the spammers.
It really is.
So what does the future hold for this fight?
Well, we got to tighten the screws on those international calls.
Yeah.
Those disposable VoIP numbers.
Right.
They're a real headache.
They are.
So we need stronger collaboration with global VoIP providers
Okay.
to implement stricter authentication and make it harder for the fraudsters to hide.
It sounds like we need a global response then
We
to
do.
this global problem.
You do.
Okay, so aside from like stricter regulations, what else can we do?
Well, we need more public awareness campaigns. You know, not everyone is tech savvy.
Right.
So we need to educate people about common spam tactics, reporting mechanisms, and safe practices.
Yeah, knowledge is power.
Exactly.
And the more people know about how these scams work, the better they're going to be able to protect themselves.
Exactly.
But we can't forget about the power of technology.
Oh, of course not.
Right.
No technology is crucial.
Yeah.
Expanded AI integration across all telecom providers for real-time monitoring and spam identification,
Oh, yeah.
that would be a game changer.
Imagine like AI that can not only detect spam,
Yeah.
but predict and prevent it
Yes.
before it even hits your phone.
Exactly.
That would be incredible.
It would.
But technology alone is not enough, right?
It's not.
We need other things too.
We do. We also need to hit the spammers where it hurts.
Where's that?
Their wallets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's stricter penalties for violators.
Okay.
Can be a very strong deterrent.
Okay, so make it so that it's just not worth it.
Exactly. If the cost of spamming outweighs the potential profits, it'll make them think twice before they hit that send button.
Okay, so create a deterrent effect, basically.
Exactly.
And of course, we can't forget about the power of everyone working together,
Oh, absolutely not.
right? Like those reporting tools like the Sanchar Sathi,
Right.
that's essential for success.
It is.
Because we're all in this together, right?
We are.
It's not just, the regulators
It's everyone.
and the telecom companies.
It's the telecom companies.
It's the people developing the technology.
Yes.
It's us as consumers.
It is.
We all play a role
We all have a role to play.
in creating a safer
Ranatil.
and a more enjoyable digital environment for everyone.
For sure.
Wow, this has been a really eye-opening deep dive.
Yeah, it has.
We've explored so many different things, like the role of TRAI,
Right?
blockchain technology,
Yeah.
AI,
Absolutely.
public participation.
It's all connected.
And remember, all of this is coming from a recent article in the Hindu.
Yeah.
So if you're preparing for those UPSC exams,
Definitely check it out.
that's a must read.
It is.
But before we wrap things up, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about.
Okay.
We've talked about the current strategies in place, but
Yeah.
as technology keeps advancing at this crazy pace,
Right.
what new innovations do you think we're going to need to stay ahead of those pesky spammers?
That's a great question.
It is.
It really is.
It's something worth thinking about.
Yeah.
Especially if you're gearing up for those UPSC exams.
For sure. It's definitely something to ponder.
So do you have any ideas?
Well, one area that's ripe for innovation is user empowerment.
Okay.
Imagine a system where individuals have more control over their data and their communication preferences.
Okay.
It would be almost like a personalized spam firewall.
So instead of just relying on, those blanket regulations
Right.
or AI filters,
Right.
we would give users more control over what gets through.
Exactly. And think about it. You could set specific criteria
Okay.
for filtering those calls and messages.
Okay.
So maybe you only want calls from people in your address book.
Right.
Or you could block messages with certain keywords that are often used in scams.
It's like giving each user like their own spam fighting toolbox. It is.
That's a really cool concept.
It is.
Especially now when privacy and data control are such big concerns.
They are.
And this kind of approach could also use things like gamification.
Yeah.
Or community-based reporting.
Absolutely.
Gamification. How would that even work with spam prevention?
So imagine earning points or badges for reporting spam accurately.
Huh?
Or helping to identify new spam trends that could encourage more people to participate and create a sense of community involvement in keeping that digital space clean.
So basically turning spam prevention into a game.
Exactly.
To make it more fun and engaging.
Exactly.
That's actually pretty clever.
Yeah.
And then what about that community-based reporting?
Yeah, so think about platforms where users could share information about numbers or messages that they think are spam.
Right.
It'd be like a crowdsourced spam blacklist.
Yeah, so it's like a collective effort then.
It is.
To just identify and expose these spammers. Yeah, make it much harder for them to operate.
It's like using the whole internet then as a force for good.
It is.
To fight back against spam.
Absolutely.
So if we combine those kinds of innovative approaches with the AI and the blockchain that we've talked about, we could create a really strong defense system.
We can.
That's constantly adapting.
Absolutely.
To whatever the spammers are doing.
Right.
This has been such an interesting conversation.
It has been.
We've really dug deep into India's fight against spam.
We have.
From the role of TRAI to blockchain technology, the use of AI, the importance of public participation.
Yeah, it's been a great discussion.
And for our listeners who are prepping for those UPSC exams, remember this topic. It goes way beyond just technology.
It does.
It's about governance, policy making,
social awareness,
international cooperation.
Absolutely.
It's a reminder that even something like spam can have a really big impact on society and how we interact in this digital world.
Right.
And don't forget, all this information is coming from a recent article in the Hindu.
Yes, it is.
That's a great resource to stay updated on current affairs.
It is.
And it's especially helpful for those who are preparing for those UPSC exams.
Absolutely.
So make sure you check out that article.
For sure.
If you want to dig a little deeper into this topic.
Yes, definitely.
Well, folks, that brings us to the end of another deep dive.
It does.
We hope you enjoyed this exploration.
We did.
If you did, please like, subscribe, and share this episode with your friends.
And your fellow UPSC aspirants.
And until next time, stay curious, stay informed.
And stay spam-free.
So what could that look like?
Well, one area that I think is really ripe for innovation is user empowerment.
Okay.
Giving individuals more control over their data and their communication preferences. Almost like a personalized spam firewall.
So instead of relying just on those blanket regulations or AI filters, we give users more granular control over what actually gets through.
Yeah, you could set specific criteria for filtering calls and messages. So maybe you only want calls from people who are actually in your address book.
Right.
Or you could block messages that have certain keywords that are commonly used in scams.
It's like everyone gets their own customized spam fighting toolbox.
It is.
That's pretty cool.
It is.
Especially nowadays when, privacy and data control are such big issues.
Huge.
And this approach, you could even incorporate elements of like gamification and community-based reporting.
Absolutely.
Gamification. How would that even work with spam prevention?
Well, imagine earning points or badges for reporting spam accurately.
Okay.
Or helping to identify, new spam trends.
Interesting.
It could really encourage people to participate more actively and create a sense of community involvement in keeping the digital space clean.
So basically turning spam prevention into a game.
Kind of. Yeah, make it fun and engaging, more rewarding.
That's really clever.
And on the community-based reporting side of things, think about platforms where users could share information about numbers or messages that they think are spam.
Right.
Almost like a crowdsourced spam blacklist.
So it's like a collective effort.
It is.
To expose these spammers and make it way harder for them to operate.
Exactly.
So we're basically harnessing the power of the internet.
Yes.
To fight back against spam.
The collective intelligence of the internet.
I like that.
Yeah.
So if we combine, these innovative approaches with the AI and the blockchain, we could create like a multi-layered defense system.
A very robust defense system.
That's constantly learning and evolving.
Absolutely.
Wow, this has been such an eye-opening discussion.
It has.
We've talked about the current strategies being used in India to fight spam.
Yeah.
We've explored potential future innovations.
Yeah.
We've even talked about user empowerment and collective action.
It's all connected.
And for our listeners who are preparing for those UPSC exams, remember this topic goes way beyond just technology.
It does.
It's about governance.
Policy making,
social awareness, international cooperation.
Absolutely.
It's a reminder that even something like spam prevention can have a huge impact on society.
It can.
And how we navigate the digital world.
Yeah, for sure.
And all of this information that we talked about today came from a recent article in The Hindu.
It did.
Which is an amazing resource.
A great resource.
For staying up to date on current events.
Yes.
And preparing for those UPSC exams.
For sure.
So definitely check that out if you want to learn more.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that brings us to the end of another deep dive.
It does.
We hope you found this exploration insightful and engaging.
We did.
And if you did, please don't hesitate to like, subscribe, and share this episode with your friends.
And fellow UPSC aspirants.
Your fellow UPSC aspirants, exactly.
Yeah.
And until next time, stay curious.
Stay informed.
Stay informed.
And stay spam-free.
Stay spam-free.
See you next time.
See you next time.